Hello, and welcome. How is everybody doing tonight? Uh, so I had an idea about a year ago that I wanted to do things with women, and in the future, I am going to bring women into this. But I'm starting a 12-week series tonight, and it's Storage Units 101 from Lock to Profit. If you have any questions, you can put those in the comments and maybe try hello Douglas. Maybe try and put like question marks beforehand and then write out your question and then put question marks afterwards so that I can maybe go back through the comments and answer any questions that you might have. So we're going to start out. It's a 12-week series, and this week, how storage units actually work. Okay. So the basics, we're starting off at the basics. I do want to say, storage units have changed my life, storage units and reselling. From the time I was 15, 16 years old, I was a waitress and I worked waitressing in a kitchen, baking, cooking, and everything. And around 46, 47, 48, I got out of it. And it was because of storage units and reselling. So the basics, we're starting at the basics. And by the time we're done, we'll be actually showing you units that you can maybe look at and start and how you can start and even maybe help you guys at the end of the 12 weeks. A storage unit becomes delinquent because rent hasn't been paid anywhere from 30 to 90 days. Okay. So when the rent hasn't been paid, the facilities will send out notices and they send them to the renter. They also have to follow state laws, and I'm sure that every state is different. Listen, I'm not a professional. I know what I know in Ohio and Pennsylvania. We do travel to a lot of other states. And but the laws can be different everywhere. Okay. The units, they're not forgotten treasures. They're just, people get behind. Certain things happen to people. We do everything we can to return the personal items and things like that. The facility does have a legal process. Before it ever hits auction, the renter is contacted multiple times. They may try to call them. They may send them letters. They'll send them certified letters. I know the facility down the hill, when the lady that worked there, she would put notices in the paper before Bolt purchased it, which Bolt is a big corporation and they own a lot of facilities in our area. So please understand, these places, there are laws, they're supposed to follow them, and that's what they do. The waiting periods are required by law, and like I said, it's anywhere from 30 days to 90 days. So when the units come up for auction, you may be able to attend a live auction, and we'll go over some of this in the future, how to find live auctions, how to look at online auctions, and things like that. When the units are auctioned, they're supposed to be auctioned as is. Listen, if you talk to any people that buy units, and some of those people are in the chat, and you can check out their channels. We have J&J Family Finds. We have Avery's All In. We have Adventures with the Hudsons. They all buy storage units, and they do have YouTube channels. So if you ever have any questions, those are just some of the people that are here in the chat. But there are a lot more out there. TDK Collects is in Florida. Of course, there is What the Hills. There's Second Sense in Cleveland. He's an auctioneer. Well, there's a lot of auctioneers in the chat right now, because some of these people that I just named off have gotten their auctioneer license. So units are to be sold as is. There are facilities that the owner may be auctioning them, and they may do things that you or I or someone else may seem as shady, we'll say. You hear stories of people saying that the facilities go through things and they set them up or whatever. So, but they should be auctioned. My feeling is, and I do take any in California. Yes, actually, there are some people in California. There's Locker Nuts, there's Storage Auction Pirate, there's Storage Stalker. That's all I can think of right now. But if anybody knows of any other ones anywhere in the United States or even out of the United States, I know that there's some people from Canada that buy storage units. So I feel I take photos down the hill of the auction units down the hill, and I do not enter the units. I take the pictures from the door. The only time that I touch anything is when I open the door and stuff comes flowing. What am I supposed to do? I'm not going to close the door and leave everything on the ground. So, but they should be auctioned as is. When we go to a live auction, you know, you shouldn't be touching the items. You're not allowed to open boxes. And a lot of the auctioneers will go over this when the auction starts. Once you win it, you own everything in it. Everything. Now listen, you even own the mouse turds and the rat turds that are in there when you clean out the unit. Because when you clean a unit, the proper thing to do is to sweep it out and make it available and ready to rent for the next person that may be renting the unit. Most facilities require a clean out time, and that's anywhere from 24 hours to 72 hours. Sometimes, did you like that? You even own the rat poop. I mean, you do. You're supposed to sweep it up, put it in a garbage bag, and take it with you. But I thought that would be nice to make people laugh. You have 24 to 72 hours to clean out units. Normally, a lot of places do work with you. They really, really do. They work with you. If you become known, which a lot of the people that I mentioned earlier, you know, J&J, Hudson's, Avery's, TDK, a lot of these people have been doing it for so long that they're known. So facilities work with them. And, you know, some of us have even gotten free units or offered to go through units that didn't sell in the auction and take items to resell or use or to give to someone else. So you have that 24 to 72 hours to get everything out, broom sweep it, and have it ready to go. A lot of places also require a deposit. We have places that say, no, we do not have to pay a deposit. We have places that make us pay a deposit. It just depends where you are, the facility, and more. So once you get that unit, the big thing you need to realize is profit doesn't come until after the work is done. So you got to go pick up that unit. You're going to either sort it there, or you're going to bring it home and you're going to sort it. And then you can start listing and making money from that unit. But you got to put in some work. If you're only getting a little 5x5, you could probably clean it out, process it, and everything by the end of a day. But if you're getting a big one, like a 10x20, it's going to take you a little bit of time. Money is made. The money will be made if you plan out your sorting efficiency, knowing what sells fast, and choosing the right platforms to sell items on, and managing your time, not just your items. And I will say that is something that Tim and I have been working on in the last year. We're really trying. We want to finish a unit no matter what before we even go on to the next one. And it's hard sometimes. And some of these people that I have mentioned, they'll tell you it's not easy. We work a lot of hours and spend a lot of time. There are some myths and truths about buying storage units. Storage units are full of hidden treasure. That's myth number one. They are not always full of hidden treasure. They're not. This is the video that came to mind. J&J Family Finds, a unit that they got. Joe found a tote full of, there was urine in the bottles, and the tote was full of these bottles. I mean, there's some horrible things that you can find. Not everything is sellable. There's been units that we've bought online that when we get there and you open it, and it smells like cat urine. Horrible. I'm trying not to say hello to people, but I do have to say, hello, son. Thank you for stopping in. Of course, that's, yeah. And since I am saying hello, Mad Dog, Lisa, J&J, TDK, thank you for being here. Douglas, thank you for being here. I appreciate everyone that is here. So myth number one, they're always full of hidden treasure. They are full of hidden treasure, but it's not always good. Okay. The truth is most units contain furniture. Sometimes the furniture is so dirty, there's no hopes of even cleaning it and selling it. I remember a unit that Tim and I got once, saw these red couches. We were so excited. And then we got in there and there was rats had chewed it all up. There were rats everywhere. It was bad. Clothes. There are good clothes out there. If you learn your clothes and you know your clothes, which is what I love, there are good clothes you can sell. But then there's the clothes that you can't really list on eBay. What I love to do is to donate them down to the church down the hill. Household items, there can be good ones. But they're not always good. You get a container full of silverware and utensils. We try to sell them at our dollar sale, but most of the time, anything, utensils that are metal, we end up putting in our metal pile and turning it into money that way. So your profits are going to come from volume, consistency, and not jackpots. Okay. There's not always a jackpot, guys. There's not. I mean, you hope there is, but there's not always a jackpot. I saw Avery's All In just put a video out and they paid $160 betting that there was a box that they knew was vintage, possibly silverware, and it wasn't in there. But then what they did was, they broke things down. So, there was a bunch of yarns. So they sold it by the color on Facebook Marketplace. And there was a table and they put that on Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes You've got to find those little things in there to make back your money and make a little bit of profit. Myth number 2. Ready for this one? Storage facilities set you up to win. I don't think so. They really want what they want. The truth is they want their unpaid rent recovered. They want the unit emptied quickly. And it says in my notes, as I did my research, they do not curate or stage units. Well, guys, I'm sorry, but it happens, okay? We had it happen to us, and we figured it out, and we made it work. And it was funny because the one unit, the totes and the boxes were so perfect. It was clean. And then there was a trumpet in there, and they didn't know that it was worth money. And we sold this trumpet for over $300. And thank goodness we didn't pay a lot for the units we got there. But they didn't know. And I called her out on it. It was fun to call her out on it. Hello, everyone stopping in. I really appreciate you being here. Myth number 3, excuse me. You need thousands of dollars to start. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. I have videos on my unit or on my channel here where I've bought a storage unit for $10 and made money. So, you know, those units that nobody else wants, maybe you can see a few little things that if you pay $10, I've literally bought a unit that it looks like garbage, and $5, $10, $1. And as long as you can find a couple things in there to sell, you make that money back, you make a little bit of profit, and then you take that money and you buy another unit and you build yourself up. Yes, we buy units. Yeah, you just never know. $5 to $1,000. Many beginners will start with $300 to $1,000. And the key is one unit at a time. And you need to take it slow, controlled growth, casual growth. And remember, starting small is often smarter. Myth number 4, everything in the unit is sellable. Nope. Nope. A large portion of it is trash, and you need to figure out what to do with it. There are low value items, and you need to figure out what to do with it. We have really tried to figure out how to sell everything in our unit. Sometimes you can't help it. Like if I get low-end clothes and they are just moldy, I can't wash low-end clothes and my eBay clothes and then just give away the clothes. Sometimes you just have no choice. And I don't like to do that, but sometimes you have no choice. Knowing what not to sell is a it's a skill, okay? And you learn as the years go by. Myth number 5, one good unit changes everything. It can, especially if you literally find, just watch TDK's unit or video on a unit where he found so much gold. I mean, yeah, it can turn things around when you find that little pile of gold and you thought you were going to lose on the whole unit, which he didn't. He found other good things. And that's the case for us too. You know, we got a free unit one time and there was a jewelry box in there and we opened it up. And the top was just full of gold and silver rings. And we made over $2,000 on just the top part of the jewelry box. So you never know. It could change things for you. Success comes though, I feel, multiple units, learning patterns, improving decisions, and staying consistent. It's a long game, not a one hit win, unless you get a unit where you find, like, wasn't there a story on the news where somebody found like millions of dollars in a unit? I know I saw something like that. Myth number 6, storage units are shady or illegal. Truth is, storage auctions are legal, they're regulated by state laws, and they're documented with contracts and receipts. When we buy a unit, there's a whole contract that you need to sign and fill out and everything. All right. Ethical buyers follow the rules and respect personal items. Myth number 7, you'll get rich fast. Nah. This business rewards patience. You definitely have to have patience. And you have to have discipline. You know, you have to work from every day, no matter what. You need to buy smart, and you need to have time management. The big thing I'm doing right now is I really started some new things. I get up, I'm trying to exercise. I'm still at the low end, but I want to work up to like a half hour. I write in a journal just about life and things like that. But then my time management part of it is I want to get up, I want to do the mail. I want to get 20 listings done by noon. And so I've been really working on that. And I get up and I get ready for the day too. Because when I get ready for the day and I do the workout, I do the writing, and then I get right into the work, I feel so much better. But I get up really early too. So like 4 a.m. and then I take a nap. This buying storage units, it will replace income over time, but not overnight. Like, we have built something in 8 years where, you know, I'm actually making more money now than I did, you know, waitressing, cooking, baking, and everything. And the big thing for me is I'm able to be there for my children and my grandchildren, is why I really like doing these storage units. So that is a little bit the beginning of this 12-week series. Remember this though, folks. Storage units, they're not magic. They're work. But for people willing to learn, stay consistent, and do things the right way, they can absolutely change your life. You know, for us, this has absolutely changed my life. Tomorrow morning, I'm able to get up and go put my granddaughter on the bus and get her off of the bus. At the end of the month, I'm driving to Florida to help my youngest son move. At the end of February, I'm going to Washington, D.C. to help my grandchildren, my oldest son, and my other 2 grandchildren. So, you know, for me, this has done a lot for me. In the next couple of weeks, next week, what we will be covering is protecting beginners from jumping in blindly. Who should buy and who shouldn't buy storage units. And, you know, it's just my opinion, guys. It's research I've been doing for weeks about other storage unit buyers and other things I have found. So that's what I will be sharing. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat there and I can answer the questions. Douglas, I really don't talk to my granddaughter on the phone anymore because I just go there and spend the morning with her. But that is true, Douglas. That is what storage units has actually allowed me to do. Oh, okay, Mad Dog. Thank you. Oh, I can show that. So, Matt, I was talking about the unit where people found like millions of dollars in the storage unit. So, thank you for all of you that have stopped in. I'm going back down. Most important thing about buying storage units, you have to be self-motivated. I do agree. I do agree that you have to be self-motivated for sure. What platforms do we sell on? Carrie, we sell on eBay, the majority. That's where 50 to 75% of my annual income comes from eBay. The other part comes from Facebook Marketplace, flea markets, yard sales, and Whatnot. We are actually starting back on Whatnot tonight at 7 p.m. The $1,650 unit that we got in New York with all new movies and new items. We're actually going to be selling those items tonight starting at 7 p.m. on Whatnot. We're KT Treasures across everything. So we'll be selling items there. After this 12-week series is over, I am going to say that I am looking for other women, business women and beyond. Okay. So it can be anyone that wants to, I want to do something like this with women, bring women on that can help inspire and uplift and move other women at any age to start over, because I was 46, 48 and I had nothing. Okay. I didn't have a bunch of money saved. I didn't have any real estate credit. I didn't have any credit at all. Okay. Everything was in my ex-husband's name and, but what I do, buying storage units and reselling, has literally changed my life in so many ways. I've met so many wonderful people. But like I said, I am looking for women. So if you've ever wanted to bless, uplift, inspire, teach, please get a hold of me. Again, this is a 12-week series. Tonight, we did talk a little bit about how storage units actually work, the legal processes, the myths, the truths. It's a business. It's not a lottery. Okay. And remember, they're not magic. They're work. But for people willing to learn, stay consistent, and do things the right way, they can absolutely change your life. So at 7 o'clock, like I said, we will be on Whatnot if you'd like to join us. I thought I'd be on here about 45 minutes, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be. It's okay, Douglas. I just want to say, everybody have a beautiful evening. I hope you have a happy new year. I hope that you are blessed, prosperous. And if there's something that you've been thinking about doing, dreaming about doing, please, please, please go do it. The first unit I bought, I was scared, but then you figure it out. Do you have a software you like for keeping track of income and expenses? I'm going to be honest with you. I am not the most techie person. Pen and paper is my thing. I actually have a calendar that I write a lot of things in. And then I just get my year-end report. I'm not saying that I wouldn't try it, because it is actually something I want to get more of a handle on. Like, I would love to input something on a computer and just let it spit out at the end of the month instead of me having to add it all together. So Carrie, Lindy, Hopper, if you have something, I'd appreciate it. So have a beautiful Happy New Year. We hope you'll come back next week. We hope you'll join us on Whatnot tonight. Thank you so much. See you next week, folks.